The clock read 2:47 a.m. when three slow, deliberate knocks shattered the silence of Michelle's apartment. Her fingers froze over her laptop keyboard, her breath catching in her throat. Nobody knocked at this hour. Nobody who meant well, anyway. Through the peephole, she saw him, a teenage boy, maybe 16, standing impossibly still in the hallway. His clothes were soaking wet despite the clear night outside, his face pale as moonlight, and his eyes held something that made her stomach drop. Recognition. He knew her. And when his lips moved to form her name, Michelle felt her entire world tilt sideways. If you're drawn to heartwarming stories that challenge everything you believe about reality, hit that subscribe button now because this story will stay with you long after it ends. Michelle pressed herself against the door. Who are you? How do you know my name? The boy's voice carried a weight that didn't belong to someone so young. It's Lucas. You don't remember me, do you? She'd never known anyone named Lucas in her entire life. I don't know you. Leave before I call the police. But Lucas did something that made her blood run cold. He began describing her apartment, the dead succulent on the corner table, the framed photograph of her late mother on the bookshelf, the crack in the ceiling above her couch. Details nobody should know. Against every screaming instinct, Michelle cracked the door open. Lucas looked directly into her eyes with a gaze that felt like staring into a deep well of sorrow. Michelle, please listen carefully. You have until sunrise. That's when they'll come for you. Come for her? Who? Why? But the desperate sincerity in his eyes stopped her from slamming the door. She let him in. God help her, she actually let him in. Lucas stepped inside slowly, looking around like he was visiting a museum of memories. He was shivering, water pooling at his feet. Michelle kept her phone clutched, finger hovering over 911. Start talking, now. Who are you and how do you know me? Lucas turned to face her. We met 12 years ago, August 14th, 2013. You were 28 then, too. Michelle's mind stuttered. That's impossible. I'm 28 now. A sad smile crossed his face. For you, it's always 2025. For me, I've lived this day 17 times. Time loops. He was talking about time loops like they were real. Then Lucas began to prove it. He recited her childhood address in Wisconsin, her mother's maiden name, Kowalski, her irrational fear of butterflies that started when she was 7, a secret she'd never told anyone. With each detail, Michelle felt her understanding crumble. This wasn't possible. Yet here stood this boy, reciting her life back to her. The photograph stopped Michelle's heart. There she was, unmistakably herself, standing next to teenage Lucas. She looked exactly as she did now. But the date read, August 14th, 2013. This is photoshopped. Her voice broke. It's not, Lucas interrupted gently. In another timeline, you helped me investigate why I was trapped. You were the first person who believed me, but every time I reset, you forget everything. I'm the only one who remembers. Michelle sank into her couch, legs weak. Why are you here? Why tonight? Lucas's expression darkened. Because in every single timeline, Michelle, you die at sunrise on October 17th, today, and I've tried 16 different ways to stop it. Lucas sat across from her, his teenage face carrying exhaustion beyond his years. It's made to look like a robbery. 2 people break in just after sunrise. Professional. I've called the police. They arrived too late. I've convinced you to run. They find you anyway. I fought them myself. I'm just a kid. I'm not strong enough. His voice cracked and Michelle saw real anguish. This wasn't a prank. Why me? Michelle whispered. I'm nobody. I'm a freelance graphic designer. I live alone. Lucas leaned forward. That's what I thought too. Until the 13th loop. 5 years ago, October 12th, 2020, you witnessed something on your evening commute. Something your conscious mind dismissed and forgot. And someone knows you saw it. Michelle's mind raced backward. October 2020. The train home every evening, but what could she have seen? Lucas continued urgently. Do you remember a man in a gray suit, red tie, black briefcase? He was on your train, arguing loudly on his phone. The memory surfaced. Michelle's eyes widened. Yes, he was angry, really aggressive. He got off at Federal Triangle. He left his briefcase behind. I almost called out, but he was gone, and I just forgot. Lucas nodded grimly. That briefcase contained evidence of massive corporate fraud, millions embezzled. 3 whistleblowers died in accidents within 6 months. The man you saw? Richard Carlisle. He's a senator now. Michelle was a witness, an unknowing witness to something powerful people would kill to keep buried. But I don't have proof, Lucas cut her off. It doesn't matter. You can place him there when he's sworn he was somewhere else. You're the crack in his alibi. The clock read 3:15 a.m. Less than 3 hours until sunrise. Lucas leaned forward. I've tried running and hiding you. It never works. This time we expose everything before they arrive. He pulled a flash drive from his pocket. I have 17 loops worth of evidence, photos, documents, recordings. I've built a case across 17 lifetimes. The next 2 hours blurred into frantic activity. Michelle recorded her testimony. Lucas uploaded files to cloud servers, social media, news outlets, all set with time-delayed releases. A dead man's switch. If anything happened to Michelle, everything would go public automatically. As they worked, Lucas said something that made Michelle pause. In Timeline 7, we became real friends. You told me I reminded you of the little brother you never had. Michelle felt something break in her chest. Grief for a relationship she'd never remember. Before she could speak, Lucas's head snapped toward the back. They're here, early. They know about me. The sound of her back door being forced sent adrenaline through Michelle's system. Lucas grabbed her arm. Hide. Let me handle this. Michelle jerked away. No, we finished the upload. 30 more seconds. Heavy footsteps moved through her kitchen. 2 sets. Lucas positioned himself between Michelle and the doorway. The bathroom door burst open. 2 figures entered. The lead killer, a woman with sharp features and dead eyes, looked at Lucas with recognition. The boy who remembers. We wondered when you'd interfere again. They knew about the loops. The woman's partner moved methodically. You can't save her, kid. You never could. Lucas stood his ground, though trembling. The evidence is already uploaded. If you touch her, the world knows everything within the hour. The killer smiled coldly. You're bluffing. She raised her weapon. Time slowed. Lucas lunged sideways, slamming into Michelle and knocking her phone directly onto the upload button. Remember me, he screamed as he tackled the woman. Please, Michelle, just remember this time. The gunshot was deafening. Lucas crumpled. Michelle screamed. But his sacrifice worked. The upload completed, files flooding everywhere. Sirens wailed in the distance. The killers fled. Their mission failed. Michelle crawled to Lucas, pulling his head into her lap, tears falling on his pale face. His eyes found hers and he smiled. Finally, maybe this time I saved you. His hand touched her cheek. Don't forget me again. Please, Michelle sobbed. I won't. I promise. Sunrise broke through her window. Lucas's eyes closed. His chest stilled. Michelle held the body of a hero who died for her 17 times. 1 week later, Michelle testified before a grand jury. Senator Richard Carlisle was arrested. The evidence proved ironclad. Michelle was finally safe. But none of it felt like victory. Every night she dreamed of a boy with old eyes who knew her better than she knew herself. She researched obsessively. She found a news article dated August 15, 2013. Teen dies in hit and run. Lucas Martinez, 16. The date he'd claimed his loop began. Michelle drove to the cemetery and placed flowers on his grave. I remember you now, she whispered, and I'll keep remembering. As she walked to her car, she glanced back. For just a heartbeat, she saw him, standing by his grave, watching her. He raised his hand in a small wave, smiled that sad smile, then faded like mist. Some debts transcend death. Some friendships transcend time. Some heroes save us again and again, even when we'll never remember. These real-life stories, these hopeful journeys of sacrifice remind us we're never truly alone. If this story moved you, hit that like button and subscribe for more heartwarming stories that challenge reality. Share this video and tell me in the comments, do you believe some connections survive even death itself?